What is up, everyone? Welcome back to SRT Amber on this delightful Saturday afternoon. It's about 5:45 p.m. here, July 5th, 2025. I'm in Saskatchewan on a beautiful lake. The water's just over there, and grass is green. What a baseball diamond here, and not much better to do than chill like this on a nice Saturday afternoon slash evening. But today it's Saturday, guys, so it calls for long form, and I think y'all deserve it, of course. It's been a while since we've had a long form video on this channel, but yeah. So I'm gonna start you guys off with just like a quick introduction about this video. We all know that humans are built to have ambitions, desires, wants, and hopes for their lives, right? We all want to accomplish something, whether it's achieve a medal, whether it's to become fitter, whether it's to do better in school, to get a dream job, the unlimited span of things that you could potentially want in life. Those are all things that we would love to achieve, but sometimes we just don't know how. Sometimes we don't want to, even though we really do want to. Sometimes I know it sounds confusing. Sometimes we want to, but our body, our mind is stopping us from doing that. And it's telling us, it's sparking little things, little thoughts that's telling us that we don't want to when we actually do. Maybe it's because it's a little bit uncomfortable. We're not used to it. Maybe it's because we just don't want to leave our comfort zone, or because we feel like we're gonna lose progress if we try to do something that we want to achieve. But you know what, guys? In this video, please give me, I'm gonna estimate about 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of your time here to help you achieve your goals, to help you accommodate yourself, and to really fulfill those desires and those things you want to progress positively to and through towards in life. So let's say, guys, I'm gonna use a whole bunch of broad general examples with a specific story example from my own life that could maybe help you guys get a little bit more clarity, a little bit more inspiration. Overall, my goal in this video is essentially just to help you guys feel like you can push yourselves a little bit harder, put in that effort, get to where you want to be in life, get that dream job, feel good, and honestly just, try your best. Alright, so essentially, guys, you have a huge list of desires, of things and wants you want to fulfill, and there's these things, a lot of them are probably quite big, whether it's going to a good university, like I've probably listed this a lot, getting that dream job, whatever you want, meeting new people, traveling the world. You want to get these things done, but you don't know how. You're not sure, right? You maybe feel stuck a little bit. You maybe don't know what to start with. You don't know how it's going to end. You don't know how comfortable you're going to be in the process of trying to fulfill these really true things in your life, right? If you know where I'm coming from here. For example, I'm going to use my life here as a main example for this video, as the only personal example I have for you guys here today. But it was me when I turned 14. Well, actually, slightly before I turned. Sorry, what am I talking about, guys? I'm going way too fast here. When I turned 15, just like a week before I turned 15, it was last year, June of 2024. And when I turned 14, where I live here in Alberta, Canada, you're allowed to get your learner's license. So there's a driver's license and there's a learner's license here. So what essentially that means, learners, you have to drive, you're allowed to drive, but you have to have a supervisor, an adult in a vehicle with the class 5 graduated driver's license that can help you drive, teach everything, or if you take lessons or whatever. But yeah, so 14 years old here, you can get your learner's license, which is you have to drive while supervised. And at 16, so I'm now 16 in 2025 here in June, you can get your driver's license, which is a class 5, which you can drive alone with some regulations, some conditions, So at 16, you can drive alone. At 14, you have to have a parent or whatever, supervisor that has a graduated driver's license. I'm gonna stop yapping about that. But back to the official story. When I was about to turn 15 in 2024 last year, I still hadn't had my learner's license, even though I should have gotten it essentially when I turned 14. so I kind of waited a long time. I didn't really want to push myself to get it. I didn't feel like it was urgent, but I wanted it. I wanted to have that freedom to drive, go on road trips, and practice my driving. I wanted that, but I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know how long it would take to achieve that. I wasn't really comfortable trying to figure that out too quickly. So I was kind of just postponing it, procrastinating until my parents kept like pushing me and pushing me to try to get it, and I just kept kind of dismissing it. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to, but I really did want to. It's kind of like a mix up. A lot of things we want in life are kind of hard to want, but you do want them. So it's gonna sound really mind-boggling, but it's true. It could be a mix between a want and a desire. There's a slight difference there. But yeah, so this driver's license thing, this learner's license. So I wanted to get my learner's, but I just didn't know where to start. My parents were telling me to get it. I tried my best to kind of start, but I just didn't know where. I had the handbook for all the information to study for that test, but it was just sitting collecting dust in my closet. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't really feel like opening it up and starting reading because I was just boring. I don't really like reading. I'm not that kind of person. I'd rather be doing other things like biking or watching reels. I know, even though that's not healthy. But one day, literally like a week before I turned 15, so still just in the brim of that year span since I turned 14 in 2023. So I was just under a year away from turning 15. Sorry, just under a week away from turning 15. Just under a year away from the completion of my 14th year. So after some peer pressure, but it wasn't. It was minorly. I don't even know how to talk. It was a very minority peer pressure. Majoritarily, it was me that decided to make a change. You know what? At first, when I initially turned 14, I didn't know. I was too lazy. I didn't want to put in the effort to get my learners. It never occurred to me that I should, even though I didn't want to, bro. So yeah, just a week before I turned 15, I decided to give it a try. Maybe push myself a little bit. So I grabbed that book, that learner's license handbook by the government, that would instruct me on everything I needed to know for my learner's license to pass that test. It's just like a 30-question knowledge test. There's no driving test or anything. That's the driver's license that I can get now. But for the learners, it's just like a 30-question test. You need 25 right to pass it, and it's just like general road knowledge, nothing more. So I decided to take a look at that book. I opened it, and I felt suddenly a big ambition to just get it done. Personally, when I start something, I find it real hard to put it down. I feel like I pulled to just keep doing it, get that satisfaction in the end, to, just like get over with, not have to think about it again. So that's what I did. That's exactly what I did, bro. I picked up that book. I started reading a little bit, day by day, until I decided to just read a whole bunch every day. And I think in 3 or 4 days, I finished the book. And I said, let's go take this learner's test. And there we go. Before I turned 15, about 5 days before, I finished that book. I went to the registry agent office with my mom in the car. I wasn't driving obviously yet, but yeah, we went to take the test. I felt confident in my knowledge skills after I had read that book. I read it really quickly. I remembered, the important stuff. So I took the test, and you needed 25 questions right to pass. There's 30 questions total. And you want to know how long it took me to pass it? And get every single question right? But the thing is, if you pass it, if you get the 25 questions right, it doesn't give you the last 5 questions. It knows you passed, so you just have to. If you get all of them right in a row, it just skips the last 5, the 25. So you only get the 25 that you get right, and that's what passes. That's what passes you. So the time it took me to pass that test, to get those first 25 questions right, all in a row, was 6 minutes 30 seconds. Yeah, 6 minutes 30 seconds, bro. I know it's kind of a general and simple story, but I got my learners that day, and within about 10 days, there's my learner's license card that popped up in the mail. I had my learner's license, just like that, in the span of about 2 weeks. See how fast I went from not wanting to even try to boom, having that license in my hand. So that right there, that story, I hope it gives you guys some insight on how easy yet tough, not tough, how easy yet complex it is to push yourself to get that motivation to do something. So if y'all are trying to do things, whether it's doing that, getting the driver's license, asking a girl out, I'm going to use this example in a lot of my videos. Getting a girlfriend, whatever. Getting your dream job when you're in your 20s or 30s. If you're trying to start a workout routine, go to a gym, buy membership. You know, whole bunch of these things. If you're really trying to do it, there's ways, bro. Like how fast I went from not wanting to put in the effort to get that learner's license to having it in my hand through the mail and passing that test in 6.5 minutes with barely even trying. I felt like I sat down in that chair, clicked the question, and I was done. It was that easy, bro. So, yeah, for you guys, bro. I know I'm talking a lot about myself here, but that's important. Sharing personal examples allows you a lot to kind of get some insight on yourself, see what you're really capable of, bro. So if you all really want to accomplish desires, get places in life, y'all gotta just get that spark lit. I can't talk. Get that spark lit in your head, bro. The mindset counts, bro. The effort that you put in will get you results. Even if it's a little bit tough, a little bit uncomfortable at first, you're gonna get there, and it'll be way faster than you think once you get started. The hardest part is that hump, climbing that hill, getting started. That's the hardest part, bro. So I don't even know what else to say entirely, because there's really not that much to it, even though there's lots to it. So simply put, if y'all want to make big decisions, do big things, accomplish big things in life, just start. You never know, you're gonna get places fast if you start. Starting is key, and if you don't start, you're never getting places. You remember, Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss all the shots you don't take. And that story with me and my learner's license, from not wanting to do it to getting it in like 10 days, reading that whole book in 4 days, is just simple proof of what y'all can do. So I just named a whole bunch of broad examples here because it applies to basically everyone. We all have our desires, our things we want to accomplish, even if they're just daily little tasks. So if you're watching this video right now, I think you should put your phone down after you're done this. Stop doom scrolling, whatever you're doing, and do something productive. Go for a walk, reflect a little bit, set intentions, have goals. Yes, goals are important, very important. But what's more important is starting and getting to the mindset you need to have. That's essentially it, bro. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Thanks you guys for watching. You guys have a great Saturday. See you guys on Monday.